Welcome to the Twilight Series, your Monday evening. If you're here in Australia, if you're somewhere else in the world, welcome to the stream. Your Twilight Series Monday night Frisbee, Ultimate Frisbee, Adelaide Super League 15. My name is Phil Shields. I'm joined here by
George Wrong.
And George, you anchored the previous game in this two-parter tonight, this double-header. Without giving away the storyline, the ending, how did you find that first match?
It was very exciting. It was basically a grind fest by the end of the game. Every team was working very hard for their points. It ended up being a very close result. So
have a look at that on the live stream. We do have all the live streams from each Monday night game, both the early and the late game, available to you. Brought to you by ULTI.TV, our partners in crime here, and your partner in crime for the best ultimate coverage in the world, bar none. And I say that without any bias whatsoever. George, would you agree with me? And then again, leading questions are allowed.
I think even if I was unbiased, I would agree.
Yeah, nice. So we have, at the moment, the East Adelaide Force versus Southside Riptide. Riptide in blue, Force in black. Black's left to screen, Force right to screen. Force is pulling, and black, which is, as I said before, the Force is receiving. How do you think these two teams are going to match up tonight?
East Adelaide Force have an uphill battle. They're Joel Pillar-Rogerless tonight, so that's one of their main facilitators on offense. So we'll see how they work without him. They've had a few games this season where he's been missing, but once again, always a challenge.
And having said that, while Joel's a really good friend of mine and I love him to bits, he is a strong player. He has admitted that sometimes when it gets close, he can self-implode, and that can affect the whole team. So while I'd still like to see him playing, I'd like to see the effect that him not being on this team has on the Force, see whether they can be resilient without him.
Yeah, and obviously as a veteran you'd expect him to be a bit cooler, but if he has these explosions, it means he still cares very deeply about the game.
Passionate, exactly.
Very good.
Passion is a good thing.
We see the first turnover already. Foster just getting out of the reach of Stevens. You see this great inside break there.
Deng to Roberts.
That's just fast offense right there.
Yeah, and Ogden trying to get onto the mark on Deng with that switch, as we see it coming up right here now. You see Roberts running, Ogden running to try and get that Deng way open, as is Roberts, all down the break side for that flow for the first point to Riptide.
Yeah, just made it look easy, keeping it fresh, as we had a comment last game. Somebody made a comment that East Adelaide Force are just full of old people.
Which translates to not fast, but hopefully in some respect translates to a bit more wily.
Yeah, and they're not look too unfit. They're still a fit team, even considering the age. Still.
Have we worked out their average age yet? Is it over 50 or just under?
I'd say the over on 50 is just a bit under 50. I'd say.
Okay, there you have it. The mathematician has spoken.
Granted, I don't actually know what their ages are. And I'm very bad at telling how old somebody is.
And very bad at saying when you've given a bit of a furphy, admitting to that.
Yeah. Got Nyan here with Paul. Not windy tonight, as we know in Ultimate. Wind affects...
Saldriaga receives that pull. Foster, far side, up the line to Ogden. Deng, almost hot on his tails, tries to get out a defensive poach there.
They're just looking to go around, straight to the middle. Schrader in the middle, just puts it deep.
Schrader, was that cool as you like to Mining Bog? I think it was.
He just throws it through everybody. He just throws it straight down the middle of the field. Didn't particularly get a lot of elevation on that throw, but managed to just sneak through everybody. So
yeah.
Have a look at the replay
and again, Old Man Wiles. I'm going to say Schrader, sorry, mate. Old Man Wiles, just calm as a cucumber. Look at the way he releases. Just bing. He sees Mining Borg going deep. Right amount of touch on that. Pinpoint accuracy just to the sideline and reply, quick as you like, to the Force.
Yeah, and the East Adelaide Force there wasn't much cutting from the stack, but that meant that a lot of the Southside Riptide defenders weren't in that lane that would have blocked Schrader's throw there. So even if it was unintentional, it was well played. You just get. We're still on serve here. You see the non-playing coach, Ben Fowler, wearing the same coloured shirt as the rest of the team. Quite confusing for the other team, I'd imagine. It's one of the worst things, I'd say, when you look across the line and there's 8 people and you're not wearing your glasses, so you can't actually see who's who. We're ready to go here, some more action. Can you imagine a big pull here. Going back. And who are the normal handlers for the Southside Riptide? Definitely Sean Lace. I'm not sure about the other one. Narayan's taking the spot here, but I think it's a bit of a hand block there by Schrader.
Yeah, Schrader, big flappy wings. I've always said that it's very hard to throw around Schrader when he's on the mark. Very deceptive, although from our point of view, but when he is marking you, you sort of feel those flappy arms around you, not wrapping but wrapping at the same time. As Everin Hardis gets one from Foster, continuation to Schrader, gets the bookends essentially. That's nice from Schrader.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a really confident throw there by Foster. Very, I'd say a high risk, high reward kind of throw. If you see here, he just puts it.
You can see Everin Hardis hardly doing anything, then moves just at the right time.
Not a lot of margin for error on that throw by Foster, but pulls it off well.
Yeah, really good stuff by Foster, that.
The East Adelaide Force get a bit of a break now, I think. Or I'm not actually sure. Hard to keep track.
Riptide got the first, and now Force have got the last 2. So something's happening there.
Little run there, yes. Eichner getting hand blocked there, so very short offensive field for the Force, and they easily put it in.
They've actually had first 2 breaks, and now we're technically back on serve, I think.
Okay.
So Riptide need to get this to stay on their serve.
Big and floaty. Putting again. Sanderson is the other handle, of course. Edgeworth. Just looks at the line. Smith. Puts it. And that's just standard.
Yeah, no one on Eichner on that from the stack. And we have a look at the replay. We've got Lace. There's a cut in there. Edgeworth receives the disc. Big swing across, and we had a bit of a switch there. And you can see there, Eichner in acres of space there.
Yeah, not sure if that was miscommunication by the defenders up the field, but that's just what Eichner does best. And he's so threatening now as well. He can throw. Back in the day, he was only known as an exclusive receiver, but played a lot of social league, did a lot of handling there, so very capable of holding the disc in his hand. Yeah, he's even pulling here. Pulling duties for Eichner. Bit of a reward for that goal.
Absolutely.
Now, we see this East Adelaide Force offense play out. They have been relatively clean still, even without Pillar Rogers. In fact, they're probably cleaner without him because he does tend to dominate the disc a lot more, so you'd look towards him because he's the best option that you have. But play a bit more free, I think, without him. Might be a good experience for them.
So Riaga looking for a centering pass to Mining Borg. Ogden, main handler.
Yeah, you notice there's no dump for Ogden there, so they're really relying on him to be able to find something upfield.
Bit of a floaty pass.
Stevens here. He just gives it back to Foley, and once again, nobody back. So we have 6 upfield when Foley or Ogden have disc. But as you see here,
no one cut for that. Not acknowledging Southside as a bona fide handler, and Ogden, I'm not too sure what happened there either. He just let it go. I'm not sure if he was thinking it was for someone else behind him or that he's running out of sideline. But I think for all money, it was definitely a disc for him.
Yeah, and Ogden and Foley just looked at each other, confused expression, and I still don't think they figured out what went wrong there.
That's one they might have to discuss over drinks later on tonight.
Yeah, we get some fast offense now, and Eichner just puts it deep.
Oh!
Ooh.
Stevens in with a whip of Narain.
I just felt like it all the time in the world. Just got himself into good position, and Stevens was always just chasing down. It was really tough to try and get a hand on that even. I think he got a tiny touch, but not enough to put Narain off.
Yeah.
So look at the replay here. Just slows down.
Here goes up. Just enough height by Narain there to get over Stevens or lock him out of the competition.
Made it look easy, I think. I think it's a lot scarier when you're actually playing there. Having Stevens come, he's usually a pretty good defender, good in the air, fast player. Maybe he took it a little too casually. I would like to see him get up a little bit earlier.
Sean. Kick at the lights.
The lights to come on. A couple of players missing. I think Shantoni Malhotra is missing for this Southside Riptide team as well. Usually a pretty good cutter, especially in the underspace. He kind of does the sideways cuts for the handlers to get the first cut off.
What do you think of Foster coming back for the handler duties? He's been back there a couple of times already.
Yeah, I don't mind him getting some experience there, definitely, especially with Pillar Rogers out. I mean, it should be a role that he's suited to in the future, so you may as well get him in for those early reps, otherwise he'll lose the confidence and be exclusively a cutter. But as we see here, he just goes deep as a receiver.
And Ryan wasn't able to block Foster out, and Foster just put a bit too much backstep right here to try and cut Narain out of that, but also cut himself out of the catch as well.
Yeah, that's just what you have to do when you have a defender in front of you, which is why you have to keep chasing this as a defender, even if you don't have a choice, or even if you don't have a chance of getting it. You just put the offensive player off, makes them mistime their jumps. Speak of the devil, Foster again.
Meiningberg working hard.
Yeah, very fast offense here. Get a very blady throw.
Blady throw to Sadariaga. Catches it one hand, makes it look easy in the end.
They're not punished for that drop by the misread by Foster before in the end zone.
Here it comes.
That's an indoor throw if I've ever seen one.
Playing into Ultima, and why not? Because for probably the first week since we've started this league, there is zero wind to speak of. I'm looking at the trees, and they are still as they could have been made out of plastic and fire kilned at the same time, but there's not a leaf on those trees moving at the moment.
Perfect ultimate Frisbee conditions. You don't realize how windy it is until you start playing Ultimate, and then even the slightest bit of wind makes you nervous.
Yes, and of course the plastic fantastic that we use in this great sport of ours, very subject to the whims of wind.
Yeah, I mean, other sports talk about it. In the AFL, they talk about wind, but that's a big old ball. In the cricket, they've got a heavy Red Bull as well, and they talk about the wind, but nothing affects wind. Nothing is affected more by wind than an old piece of plastic flying around.
Exactly, battered and shaped into a round disc.
Score's level 3-all. Southside Riptide currently at 3-2, trying to head up to first on the ladder, whereas the East Adelaide Force are 2-3, trying to get it all level. So if the East Adelaide Force win, they'll be 3-3, equal with the Southside Riptide. He's got a quick turn here. Ogden just reading that one really well. Everinatus just puts it across the whole field. Edgeworth had no chance in that contest. He's just completely he's out of place, unfortunately. Not much he could do. Did the best he could.
He didn't, but what I really like about this, and have a look at this at home, folks, when this disc goes up and end, you can see Stevens on the far side, then it's just put over the top. Edgeworth closes in, but he looks at Stevens and then sees where he puts his hand, and he jumps at the right place where he's going to catch it. So even though you said he didn't have a chance, and I agree with that in principle, these are things you can do on defence. Exactly what Edgeworth did then is look at your player, look where he puts his hands to make that catch, and then make the D in hope, if nothing else, because that's really all you have in this situation to try and affect a play on the disc. So I really like that from Edgeworth, that he was in the contest all the time. He didn't give up at all, even though the chances of him getting that D were slim.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the best he can do in that situation. And he was even the player who was closest to Everinatus when he got the disc in the first place.
Yeah.
And he chased down that throw.
Exactly. So I'd like to know who was on Stevens and didn't follow him up.
Yeah. So it does make him look a little bit silly, but he's played that well.
He did double work.
Yeah. These lines are quite quick, I'd say, compared to the last game. They get the talking over nice and early, get on with the ultimate, get on with the action. Less downtime, less skipping through if you're a spectator watching on YouTube or watching it back later. Thank you to ULTI.TV for recording the coverage. I get some miscommunication there, as that throw is to nobody. Sean Lace kind of threw it in the middle of two people, and I think both of them thought it was for the other person.
I think initially it was for Eichner, maybe, but he had his back to the disc.
We got a lot of confusion on the field, not much cutting. Looking for anything, just puts it straight to the ground.
Frustrating stuff from the Force during that play. Foley, as a handler, looking for something upfield, nothing coming, puts his hands out in despair, maybe slight disgust at the same time, wanting more from his team. Big call from Eichner. He receives the disc.
A lot of yelling here. Big communication from both teams. Slock as Eichner goes deep, and desperation for help. He comes all the way under now for this disc. Goes up the line. Power position, and he goes all the way across the field again. Edgeworth. Playing well.
Edgeworth is doing well this round.
This is amazing awareness. You never think of making this cut. You see here, he goes deep, and then he goes all the way across. He knows that Sean Lace has that throw on him.
Renatus not giving up, though.
Usually not a throw that you'd expect to come off, especially at the flick. Let's get a timeout called here.
As we have a timeout, we'll go to a ad break and be back with you shortly.
Help us go electric, become a member.
So this is a tight game we've got here tonight, George, between the East Adelaide Force and Southside Riptide. So tight that at 4-all, we're in our first timeout. Each team trying to figure out how to break the other, but also needing a bit of a rest. There's a lot of work rate being put in by both teams here to get these points.
Yeah, and since it's so close, it's a bit of a later timeout than usual. Usually when there's a bit of a blowout early on, maybe 4-1 or 3-1, there'd be a timeout called. But since it's been neck and neck all the way, get our first timeout 8 points in. It's just, I'd say, quite late.
Agreement.
So not really needing much. I think both teams just say play like we are, make less mistakes, but mostly for a bit of a break. The Southside Riptide with that last point. It's quite well played. Sean Lace, of course, with that big flick from one side of the field to the other. I think they're forcing away, but didn't quite get that force down in time, so he managed to pull that off. He's very crafty with his throws.
Yes, Sean Lace, a stalwart, a veteran of this game now, having been played for some time. Always been at the top of his game, even now.
Yeah, and he makes these kids, he keeps them humble, I think, because, you know, as an older player, he would still run laps around them all day long.
And he's very humble himself, really.
Yeah, and he loves teaching people. Earlier in the year, he played for Plan B in State League, which is a whole bunch of the younger Outbreak boys, and he essentially just coached that team. Really friendly guy. He was wondering if I was commentating the game before, so he was wondering if he had to be nice to me or not, but I said, I'll be mean to you regardless of whether you say nice things to me or not.
Shout out to Sean Lace, captain of this blue Riptide team.
Speaking of captains, last game, 30, Ramadan played all points of the game. So let's see if these captains do the same, or let's see if Sean Lace does the same thing here. Yeah, Ogden again, except this time with 2 back. So they're running a bit of a horizontal stack here. That's great pressure there.
That was a great bid by Eichner to get a D.
Not quite enough.
And get back on his feet as well. Straight away.
You see this goes from a horizontal, transitions into a vertical straight away. Ogden goes all the way across the other side of the field. Foster throws that out into space. Goes back to the middle. Just not holding that force down hard enough. That's just out of shot as reach. Usually you'd think he'd be able to grab that.
Yeah. Got enough of his hand, but wasn't able to pull the fingers around the rim.
Yeah, tough throw. So we get a hint from Nayan that he wants the sideline cleared, which means he might want something deep. Decides against it. You do want to have the option though. Lace throws a scuba over, like all the time in the world. Nobody on him.
Warren White makes use of the disc with his first touch at this point.
As well. I think that's his first touch of the game. I don't think
possibly not. I don't think I've seen him touch the disc yet either. So straight into it. Warren White, again another wily veteran of the game, comes in first touch. First catch, first throw, and gets an assist to affect a score.
Yep, that's 2 fantasy points. So he's got the best touches per fantasy points ratio currently.
Put that on your CV. Okay, another timeout. So we'll be back after these adverts.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Now there's something you don't see too often. You got back-to-back timeouts, 1 point after the other.
Yeah, I'm interested to know what the reasoning was behind that. Was it just a bit tired? What do you think?
I think Ben Palais probably called that. He just probably wanted to have something. There was probably something on the field that he just wasn't liking, and he wants to fix it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
See, this East Adelaide Force team, a lot of height. It's probably got that advantage over the Southside Riptide at the moment. But they do have speed. And youth. It's a very young lineup.
So as the lights kick in here, and we're in our nighttime phase of a Twilight Monday Ultimate.
Yep, it's cooling down as well, so for these players, no excuse for tiring out.
Yeah, they won't overheat, that's for certain, because of the coolness in the air.
And we just get the standard Ogden Foley look again as it goes up straight away.
Stutter step by Mining Borg, who went deep. Got rid of Roberts, but the throw not equal to the cut. Roberts getting an easy D.
Yeah. I'm not sure what kind of look this is. It's kind of a straight up force at the same time.
Yeah, definitely straight up force.
As we transition here, so trying to stop this flick now. Foley does some great defense work there on Sean Lace. I guess some sort of pick call. You see this. Stops everything. Sanderson doesn't even look at him anymore.
No, Sanderson gives up on that cut.
There's nothing really happening in the stack.
Ogden poaching off of the stack, seeing that cut up the line straight away.
Yeah.
Gets the easy D.
And that's just a veteran move right there. A younger player probably wouldn't think of cutting off the stack, but as well as we get a touch there. Deflected.
And Sanderson not able to read that one early enough, as Ogden had all the time in the world to receive that. Passes it off to Stevens.
A strange throw there. It got deflected off somebody and went off to the side, off to Sadariaga. Just puts it deep. See what happens here. He deflects. Synced.
Dang in the action there.
Touches that one, but
Sadariaga taking his time though. Ogden already in the end zone, had to come back to fight for that against Sanderson.
yeah, that's just a really unfortunate deflection. I think Ungding Singh will not be happy about that one.
Yep. No reward for effort there, unfortunately, on that play.
9 times out of 10 that would just deflect up into nothing, but it went straight into another East Adelaide Force player's hands, so very unfortunate as he goes off the side.
And Deng's out of this Riptide lineup. So this is a very tight game. I was not expecting. I was hoping for this level of tightness in the game, closeness. I'm wondering if this is going to continue all the way through down to the wire.
I'm definitely hoping so. As we watch these talks get longer and longer, as they seem to tire out.
Both hands up. Mining Bog with the pull. Quite a low one.
Yeah, it looks like it might be drifting out even. Brick cooled. They'll take from the middle of the field.
Really no excuse for that in this weather. Calm conditions, no breeze. Should have been thrown down the middle or put a bit of angle on it for it to roll, but it really shouldn't be landing out at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I think it just came out of his hands wrong. It didn't look like he was trying to put inside edge on it, but it flattened out in the end, but not quite enough to keep it in. You get Warren White really close to the handlers here. He ruins his touches per fantasy points ratio. But if he gets the goal here, might have another option. It's Edgeworth fakes. They just keep putting it to Sanderson in the middle here. They've got to cut off this middle space here, so it flies right past his head. I think that's a really clean offense by the Southside Riptide.
Yeah, they did well, and Mining Borg having a hard time shutting down Sanderson here. Sanderson running rings around him as the Axis handler.
Flies right past his head. Warren White, another assist. Sanderson really just doing a lot of work in the middle. He's one of the safest SA Ultimate players. He's often forced to take on a bigger role than what he probably should be these days. I mean, if he's your secondary handler, facilitating to the players in your team, he's probably one of the best people to have in South Australia.
Absolutely.
But often times he's asked to pull big throws, and there are other options that might be better than him, but in terms of short stuff, he's one of the best.
So without Pillar Rogers in this Force team, we're seeing a lot more, I believe, stability through the mid-section. Not the range of huge long shots that you'd be used to seeing. And I think it's paying off for this Force team. If they can hold this with Pillar Rogers back in the mix, then I think that they have an opportunity to win quite a number of their next games.
Yeah, and Ogden really the only consistent deep throw threat. A couple of them not panning out so far.
Yeah, so he's now going as a deep receiver.
Yeah, maybe Shredder will throw to him. And they'll just do the old switcheroony, change roles. You see how this pull goes, Narayan. See if he can keep it in. I have faith in him. That's beautiful. All right, it's going to go all the way to the back of the end zone.
Gives it minor inside out on the backhand. Makes it come down right dead centre of field.
Yeah, it's not really much of a stack here. It's somewhat of a... It looks horizontal, but at the same time, there's only two handlers back. It's messy.
A lot of long cuts with flow.
Yeah, there are big cuts happening right now. They've got the opposite problem of other teams where there's too many things happening at once. Foley grabs this one. And now they're back to Ogden. Kind of reset to where they want to be with Ogden and Foley handling and just seeing what they can get upfield.
Santiago with a long look upfield. Edgeworth going to ground. Not sure he really had a realistic play on that disc though.
Yeah. And they keep doing this. Ogden straight down the middle cut.
And Narayan not able to get that one before Mining Borg gets the goal for the Force.
Yeah, that's a great grab there as well. Makes it look very casual with a one-handed grab. And you see here, Ogden just coming down the middle. And in this wind, you can throw those kind of throws. We've seen a few of those tonight now.
And this lack of wind, exactly.
They're still even, 6 and 6. Going blow for blow with each other.
So we're at 6-all at the moment. Give us your thoughts, your comments. Who do you think will win this game? Do you think it will come down to Universe Point? Do you think it will be a blowout in the second half? Do you think one team will be able to sustain that effort? The old guys versus the more younger guys, maybe? Although we do have a fair mix on both teams. I'd probably say the Force are in the older category, with Foster significantly bringing that age down. But Blue with a bit more of a mix, a range to work with, to play with on the field.
Yeah, the Southside Riptide, they have Sean Lace, they have Johnny Warren White. Those are basically the two older players that you'd want to have to foster young talent. Johnny Warren White, of course, also the coach of Outbreak Mountain. Sean Lace also does a lot in that space. Once again, get Sean Lace and Ariane back.
Not going to get a lot of deep throws here at the moment. We've got to work it up. Edgeworth is free as a poach by Foster, giving it back to Lace.
They're just playing patient, I think. As
it goes to ground.
As I curse them.
The commentator picks up quickly to Schrader.
Short offense here, so they just have to, the East Adelaide Force just has to get back, just to give some space to work with. We see Stevens here. A great cut. Probably just wants to look for anybody to throw the disc off to. And he goes up the line.
Oh! Grabs it on the way down.
The throw looks suspicious, I'll be honest with you.
Bit of a scuba push passy look type of over the top there. By side of the Yaga.
Yeah, let's have a look at the replay here. Just Stevens. And he just goes straight away. Ung just not ready for that one. As he just grabs that one. That's a great grab. Great read.
Bit of a shovel pass there almost.
Yeah, it's for a throw that doesn't come off often as well. You don't really practice those kind of catches. So that's just some great awareness there. Really did well to control the body in the air.
Yeah, and kudos to Stevens to bring that one down as well, running with the disc.
So I believe that is a break. But the Southside Riptide did start on defense, so
I think it brings back to evens.
So back to evens.
Back to serve.
East Adelaide Force really want to win this one. Take half. It's always a bit more motivating when you're up by 2 at the half. Always wants to have that little bit of a buffer.
So the question on everyone's lips is, can the Force get a D and then get a score? They need it in order to take this half and give themselves a bit of respite, a bit of a rest. If they do, then they'll have deserved it. Otherwise, Riptide will bring it down to Galaxy Point.
Sean Lace probably has a lot to say. No, he's not even on the field. Somebody.
No, Sean Lace is on the
field.
field.
On the field, yes. Somebody has a lot to say. As you'd expect, this East Adelaide Force seems to be milking the line, but Southside Riptide are doing it now. And Eichner just pumps it deep. Unfortunately not being looked at.
Just not catching up with his run.
He goes all the way under. That's fundamental ultimate right there. You go all the way deep. It doesn't come, you get all the way under.
And Eichner's done that a couple of times already this game.
Yeah. And just tires the defender out. And he gets it again. Slips it through the middle. And nobody was around. Bit of a confusing point there.
Yeah, Strawn stopped actually. I thought he was going to signal either a travel or a goal. I'm not too sure which one, but we'll see it here in a moment. Here's Eichner, comes for that, and then Strawn just stops there just to the left of him in black and lets it all go, and Schrader signals the goal.
Bit of a miscommunication of some sort, I'd imagine. I think that's great vision by Warren White. See Eichner just running through. There's about 4 players in black, and Eichner just strolls down the middle of them. Gets that disc. You get Galaxy point. Next team to win a point takes half. Of course, doesn't win you the game. Just gets you bragging rights. And you feel a bit better at the half when you're up.
They're looking to get that trophy together for Galaxy Point. Give it to the team with the most Galaxy Point wins. Stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, we should actually make a halftime trophy. See how many teams, or see which teams gets half first. You're a first half team.
Maybe if you win Galaxy Point, you get the payout automatically, regardless of whether you get the win.
One day when Ultimate Frisbee has betting. Probably don't want to encourage that though. Hopefully get a big pull here. Eichner. There's always the other side. Gets the right edge on it. And once again we have Ogden here. The disc. Pretty much what you'd expect. Emanardis basically gets the disc level with Foley. So no distance was made. Goes deep.
That's a nice flat pass by Saldiaga to Schrader.
And East Adelaide Force take half.
Nice, well-deserved break as we see this one again on the replay.
It's just a great throw here.
Great weight. And Schrader takes that easy as you like.
So we're still on serve here, 8-7 for East Adelaide Force. We'll be back after some highlights.
Yep. Just go to an ad first and then highlights.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
Water at all, Rex?
Oh, okay. Sorry, boys. That's me. But he said it so nicely. Hey, that first half was right. Riptide!
And we're back live. The East Adelaide Force up by 1 over the Southside Riptide. The Southside Riptide coming out on offense in the second half.
Yeah, looking at a very close game here. And I really get the feeling that this is going to continue all the way through, unless something significant happened at that halftime break. And the only thing that I can think of is that the break in itself might just cause one team to lose focus.
Yeah, and the East Adelaide Force were talking about how a lot of them are playing Masters, reminding us of their age. Might have to play Great Master or Grand Masters. And if they get old enough, they can play the Great Grand Masters. Not even sure if that's a thing. Maybe it will be when the sport matures a bit more.
Great Grandmasters even.
Yeah. This going on the sideline, but they come off the middle here.
Lace showing good legwork there to get rid of Foster.
It's so fast. Is that a hand block? I think so. I think Foster just got a hand on it. Lace just missed throwing that one. Never punished.
There we go. See this once more.
No,
just straight into the ground.
He just missed through it completely.
Double turn gives it back to Riptide.
Yeah, and they're really milking it with this walk-in. Last game, I learned the rule that you have to walk in within 20 seconds. Sean Davis actually started counting the time. Seems like a very passive-aggressive move, but within the rules, I believe.
Well, I don't think you can, just my opinion, you can't ignore one rule and say which rules are more important than the other. The rules are the rules. I think it's up to the people who make the rules to dictate how they want the game to flow.
And that's a great contest in the air. Really exciting. Daniel Roberts and Nick Avranadis, two very youthful athletic players. We see this layout here on Iron. Gets all the way down and comes up. And there is a pretty speculative throw, I'd say.
It was definitely a contest for that.
Yeah, and usually you'd trust Daniel Roberts in the air, but unfortunately Avranadis is also quite a talented aerial contester. So just trying to go out wide here, trying to make some space. Schrader getting shut down a bit by Eichner, kind of choking that deep space, and also without the throwers that East Adelaide Force normally have. Not as much of a threat. You see this flick in the middle. Puts it deep.
That was a slick throw by Fowler.
It's beautiful.
Slick Mick. Watch this as he cuts through the middle. Gets it here. Plants the foot and makes it look easy.
He just throws it over and around everybody. My goodness, what a throw.
Veteran move.
It's broken now, so maybe they're the ones who get up ahead. Of course, wasn't much defense that caused that turnover. It's just Sean Lace having it slip out of his hands as a first turnover. Second turnover, I can't really remember what happened, but.
So see if they exchange from here. If they do, then obviously Force in the premier position of having that always a 2 lead, then a 1 lead, then a 2 lead, then a 1 lead. Is a nice position to be in as you go into the last part of the game.
Yeah, it's definitely the more comfortable position to be in. But Southside Riptide can come back from this. They up by a lot last week up against the Northern Flyers after missing quite a few key players and survived a scary comeback at the end of it. Let's see how this pull goes. And if it lands in, it's good. Rolls all the way to the end zone.
So now, I consider we have more of a game now, which is Riptide really fighting now. They have to fight in order to stay in this because they can't let the Force get too far out. And Eichner picks it up. Foster picks up the effort as well. Oh, and that one's going to stay out. I don't think it's coming back.
Just complete miscommunication there after some great plays. Eichner really worked hard to keep that one.
And watch this, as Eichner goes deep, he looks back, and right here, he doesn't see it being thrown, and so he cuts to the middle. I don't blame him for that, actually. I think that was the right thing to do, given how close he was to the end zone.
Yeah, there are just too many defenders around as well, so that was the correct play, I think.
Rule of thirds coming into it as well. Probably shouldn't have thrown that, even though it was a bit more of an outside in, just like that one was from Foley to Stevens.
That's a great pickup, though. Just going to the ground fast for Stevens. Gets onto the ground himself. Pick that one up.
Tell you what's been my highlight of this game is Foster's movement and vision in this game. I have really been impressed. Haven't seen Foster move like this or use that vision. He probably hasn't been given too many opportunities to do that with Pillar Rogers on the team as well.
Yeah, it feels like he's picking up the energy a bit. It's the most energetic I've seen him look in quite a while. And quite a few layouts as well. Great bids. He helps the East Adelaide Force here out to a 3-point lead.
Yeah, Foster definitely a player of the future.
Coming in from New South Wales, so studying at UniSA.
Do you know how old he is?
Oh, I think he's second year of uni, so 19 or maybe at oldest 20.
Yeah, so plenty of time for him to, or if he can, develop even further.
Yep, a lot of young players come through as Ben Pele comes over. I'm not sure what he's checking. I think he's checking the score. Really trying to milk those timeouts, I think. Got to strategically place them. 10-7. They might actually reach 15 before the time cap even goes off. They've still got plenty of time. About 25 minutes. Some quick maths right there. I panicked after I did it. I thought I'd done it wrong. No, that's right. I should just trust my guts.
And yeah, I think, as I mentioned, coming out of the halftime break, that there's really no reason for the Force to get this now 3-point lead over Riptide. It's just that they've let the pressure off.
Yeah, just a couple of silly mistakes, I think.
Let them off the hook. Force to capitalise. Lace wants to try and rectify the situation with a long bomb to Eichner. Good contest with Stevens, but Eichner the winner in this one.
Yeah, they just wanted to get one in quick, I think. It's Eichner, you see, he was the one who threw that disc to Lace in the first place, and then got some separation on Stevens as he... Oh, no, it wasn't Stevens.
Stevens had to peel off the back of the pack.
Yeah, so Schrader lost him and had to ask Stevens for help there. That's just what a player like Eichner does. He's just so smart. Knows where to go. Transition from dumb, only cut deep receiver. It's a very versatile player. I'm sure Sean Davis is very disappointed he couldn't get his hands onto Lockie Eichner. Lockie Eichner, of course, didn't play last Super League, but was selected as a marquee player still by Sean Lace. Don't know how he managed that. Just take a player off the charts.
Yeah, Eichner definitely worth his weight in gold for this Riptide team.
It's just because he's so versatile. He can do anything. He can handle if required, although you wouldn't want him because then you lose a lot of threat downfield.
The player I really like from Eichner is his work rate to get free deep and then cut hard all the way under, which we've seen a couple of times already in this game.
Yeah, that's basically like the first rule you learn when you first come to Ultimate, but nobody does it as well as he does, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
First cuts, boys, first cuts.
Ogden rolls up the sleeves.
Yeah, showing off the guns, I reckon. See Foley here with these wide flicks. Kaido Foster just cramming the space a little bit, but gets out quickly, which is good. And he's continuing to cut. Lace just reads that so well.
Yeah, and a lot of deep cutters on the Force team. Very disappointed for the work that they put in just to see this turnover, and Riptide given an easy short field turnover.
Lace breaks Ogden's ankles there, but
Vision.
oh, he comes down to the after that 3 juggles. I think it even plopped onto his head. Have a look at this one here.
Yeah, here we see Warren White with the vision as Dang peels off the back.
Completely misreads it. Hits him on the head. Just manages to come down with it. That's going on the end of season highlight reel. I'll have to make a mental note of that.
The comedy reel.
Comedy reel and the highlight reel, I think. It's a great throw by Johnny. It's fantastic vision. It's all by himself. But yeah, maybe it would be a good idea. Remind me to make a comedy reel at the end of the season.
So we're at 10-9. We have a timeout. We'll take a little break and be back with you shortly.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. ULTI.TV. ULTILeague.net. Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
Coming back to you after that little timeout. Black with a few things to say.
Yeah, an East Adelaide Force, I'd say, looking quite threatening in those black outfits. They're quite scary, thank you to Double Happiness for the uniforms.
Yeah, Double Happiness for all your uniform needs. Please look them up. Double Happiness. Look up alternate and you'll find them under uniforms.
Yeah, they look fantastic. What's your favourite colour to wear when you play?
Red.
Red.
Faster.
It's true.
More threatening, more dangerous.
I do love a red. Although I sometimes think the ultimate teams are picking up on it as well. I swear every time I go to a tournament, about 3 or 4 teams decide they want to wear red, which is unusual.
Probably the more pertinent question is, what's your alternative colour?
Yeah, I have a yellow shirt, which I really like, but unfortunately nobody else has a yellow shirt unless they play for the LA City Cannons in that one specific year. So I like a team that wears yellow.
I have an orange one, which I feel is in a similar vein of yellow. It's sort of like the red wannabe that no one else picks.
Yeah. Not the greatest looking colour, I'll be honest. It's Foster here. Fielding the disc. Staying back with Ogden. Big responsibilities here. Ogden telling Foster to stay back as the handler. Mindball goes all the way back, even behind Foster. Cuts upfield, starts to dry up. Schrader's all the way back here. Ogden gets it back. Looking for anything upfield. They just seems to go back further and further. Starts to get the movement going on. Almost the miscommunication there, but managed to pick it up well. So they finally go outfield. Everyone else makes himself available. Short. Hammers it over. He almost cleans it up.
Yeah, Stevens getting in to try and claim that. Unusual miss on defence by Warren White.
Now, is that considered a drop for Stevens or a D by Warren White?
It depends if Stevens really got his hands to it or not. I'm not too sure if he did or didn't.
Yeah, now this actually gives Southside Riptide an opportunity to tie the score up. So after being 3 points down, they have the chance here. Lace demanding the dispatch straight away. He just puts it deep.
Narayan's there for backup if needed.
Oh, he reaches behind him for the grab.
Narayan needs to make, Narayan needs to make a move, and he does. And there's the equaliser.
That's just all Roberts that point. Gives the disc back, gets the first cut, back to Sean Lace. Then goes all the way deep, reaches backwards, gets all the flexibility in him. So have a look at this. Warren White just dropping that. If Stevens had picked that up, that would have been hugely demoralising for the...
I think that's going to have to go down to Stevens as a drop. That over the top of the head, reaching backwards with the flight of the disc, that's a very hard catch. We've seen, I think, Stevens do that already.
Yeah, that is difficult. You see here. And he just goes straight away before Stevens can even recover.
Plenty of options there for Narayan in the end.
And that happens a lot. When you're on the mark, you usually don't expect the player to just run off straight away. And it's something that Roberts did really well at that point. People like Patrick Christie, really annoying because he just moves straight away after he throws the disc. And Sean Lace as well.
Definitely a skill you can build up at home if you want to learn to throw and go, throw the disc and then move straight away. Maybe a second delay if you want to try and put a second thought into your defender's mind, thinking that you're not going to move also works.
Yeah, Sean Lace, one of the best in the business at that. Yeah. Roberts showing they can do it too. Doing it twice that game. Get a big throw. Nobody was expecting that one. So it rolls all the way to the back of the end zone.
Yeah, miscommunication there by the force. Not good.
Keeping it low and no hesitation at all.
Nice throw. Will Meinenberg lay. He'll trip lay.
Now this actually gives the Southside Riptide an opportunity to break for the third time in a row and put them up. Which is not what you expected after that half that East Adelaide Force came out with.
No, so very different story this second half to the first half.
Yeah, just huge momentum swings.
Eichner has still got a huge work rate. Big unders.
Oh, that's great defense there.
Sanderson
threads the needle through everybody. They're just threading the needle here. So they try to put it in.
In the end, Deng is the one who throws it away.
They had so many difficult throws there. I made it through.
Strawn.
But the easy one goes to ground.
There's Strawn working his way under.
Warren White giving up on that one. Trying to conserve some energy, I'd imagine. Sean goes deep now. Sanderson.
That's got great weight on it by Foley. And he's in. East Adelaide Force reclaiming some strength here.
Yeah, and Schrader just getting the Sanderson matchup, so he just backed himself. Especially when you have Foley having the disc here, you trust him to throw that. He just beats him in the foot race. And that's a pretty standard East Adelaide Force gameplay. Usually it's a lot of Schrader going deep.
Yeah, Schrader making his intentions well known early on that cut so that Foley had plenty of time to throw that disc deep to float it in front of him.
See Roslin on the sideline here, listed on the team list, but hasn't played a point yet. But East Adelaide Force stemmed the bleeding. Get one more point on the board just to stay up. So they trade, they'll win eventually.
Yeah, now really, let's talk future games here by Force, because we mentioned it at the beginning here. They're missing Pillar Rogers, and I want him to come back into the team. But what happens to this team with Pillar Rogers when he comes back in? How does it look? How do the dynamics change?
Well, currently Ogden's currently playing as the main dominant handler, kind of taking the Pillar Rogers role a little bit, so he'll definitely have to take a step back himself. Other than that, I really like Foster back as the secondary handler, so maybe Ogden could move down the field a little bit so he can receive that first throw and then he can do his work with whatever he has upfield. And just let Foster stay back. He's very good at getting the disc back and getting the disc back to Pillar Rogers or even to somebody else like Ogden.
I'd actually like to see Pillar Rogers play deep. He started his career in the deep space, and I think that while he's got all the skills of a handler, I think for him to be in the deep space when he comes back into the team would be a great look for him. Now there was a reach over by Schrader, over Eichner, and I get the feeling Eichner got tapped on the hand. We'll see it here again in replay.
I think it's the arm here. Oh yes, you're right, it's the hand. Calls a foul straight away, so he's obviously felt like it's hindered him from catching that disc. Definitely some sort of contact. I think Eichner's fair to make this call. They'll have a discussion about it. Of course, Ultimate Frisbee, self-refereed sport. But the spirit of the game makes you... People might think, oh, if it's self-refereed, wouldn't that make people cheat? But
no, it doesn't. It does quite the opposite, in fact, and there's that fear factor that comes into people's mind. It doesn't happen at all. I think, paradoxically, to some people, having the referee there actually makes more people prone to try and claim a point when it's not actually there.
Yeah, it's uncontested foul, so Eichner will receive the disc there. One right. Just puts it across. Great D. A great read.
Schrader with the read, wants Meiningberg long, but overcooks it.
Let's go.
In his frenzy to get the disc and get the score, he just took a bit too long to throw that.
Eichner, once again, doing a lot of work at this point. You see a lot of these young players. Speaking of which, Edgeworth
giving you free space. They're giving you free space. Use it.
did a lot of work in the early game, but cooled off a bit here in the second half. So we get some sort of pick call or violation. Not quite sure.
I think he's saying he might have started the stall count too far away.
Yeah, Daniel Roberts, he really reminds me of what Lachlan Eichner used to be a few years ago. We really get to see how he develops as well.
I agree.
Get Smith here with a disc. Kind of trapped on the sideline here. Puts it across. Seen a few of those now.
That's all Eichner. Was there ever any doubt? I don't think so.
He made it look so easy as well. We've seen a lot of these throws. People getting ambitious now. No wind. Feeling good. They're really feeling themselves. A lot of sideway throws, a lot of full across the field throws.
Yeah, and a powerful position to throw the score is from one side of the field to the other.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the unguarded side, generally speaking.
Yeah, because all the defenders are on the side that you're on. So they try to stop that side, and then you just throw it over everybody. Maybe it's worth having one player stand on the other side. Of course, requires really good communication to pull it off.
Should really be a standard play for all teams at all levels. One of the first play. One of the first plays that should be taught, I think.
Does require a lot of communication because it leaves one player free on the open side, and then you have to communicate who's going to take that person, and then of course you have to switch because then their player's free. And I think it might be just a little bit too advanced for a new player, but definitely agree for these competitive teams should be a standard. We've just seen too many of them this game. You see that these across the field throws are really punishing them. Seen quite a lot of goals from that exclusively. This one's a very short pull. It does land in though. Schroeder just goes deep. It's got the Eichner matchup, so not sure how much they like that one.
Just landed inside, puts it up with no hesitation.
Stevens comes down with it. It's in there. That's a highlight.
Yeah, that's the play of the night in my book. You see it here. There's the sideline. There's the lay. No hesitation.
Is it worth if you break your shoulder on that play? What a throw as well. He landed on that shoulder and then pulls out a great throw. Breaks the conservation of greatness rule. Ouch.
There it is.
Way in bounds.
Five minutes away from full time.
Yeah, still just going after that huge momentum swing that East Adelaide force got. The Southside Riptide managed to claw it back. Now we're just going 1 point each for these teams. You get Ogden resting, Schrader resting. Same with the key players for the offense. I was going to say trusting the younger players, but they don't have many younger players. Actually, now looking at their line, they actually have quite a few younger players.
Well, yep, Everonardis is still in his youth, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Tim Stevens is still in his 20s or not.
I'm probably going to say no to that one.
Won't be much though. You see this horizontal stack here. So 3 back, 4 upfield, but horizontal stacks always end in chaos straight away, which is exactly what's happened here as we go straight into some sort of janky vertical. Well, still a lot of movement though, a lot of cutting. They're making it look really easy.
It's you, baby. It's you. Watch up the line, Carter.
Just jamming up this sideline here.
Carter, up the line. Carter.
Get all the way around. Give his captain in the middle.
Carter, no line. Get in front of the line. That's the line.
So they try. Go to the break side. Roberts brings it down.
As Daniel Roberts brings the disc down for the score, we even it up again.
Yeah, really cramming down that sideline for a long time, but managed to bring it back to the middle to Sean Lace. He can then just, like we said before, that one's not as much across the field, but as you can see, just throwing to that break side, nobody's there to stop it.
So we're back with a tied game after a different start to the second half. Story of the first half was trading points to bring Galaxy point and Force coming away 8-7 at half. We were thinking it was going to continue like that, but the story of the second half began with Force getting 3 straight in a row, and we were thinking they were going to take it away, but then Riptide had an alternative scenario in mind, getting 3 of their own. Now we're trading once more to bring it to 12s.
I'm glad that's happening. Makes it more exciting. Every point matters, otherwise we'd just be making small talk.
Certainly changes the script.
Now I'm going to save it for next week. Yeah, so these talks, they're getting longer and longer.
I think as the game goes on, approaching the 78th minute, the Force definitely feeling it in the legs.
Yeah, we didn't have much dead time earlier in the game, but... Oh my, that is a rolling pull.
It's an interesting roller.
That's a good job to stop it though. You see here, back to the classic. I was going to zone here, actually.
Zone look.
So 3 chasing the disc, 3 in the middle, and Eichner on his lonesome, covering the deep space.
Back to match defense now.
Ooh, Lace almost gets a sniff for that as they break through the zone completely. 4 players behind the disc, but recover okay.
Sang is there. Oh, I thought he would have got that.
Ooh, might have to get a line check on that. Let's have a look at the replay here. But
definitely wasn't looking at
it was
the line.
close.
It was close though. To see here at the back, there's Deng. He sees the cut and goes himself.
He almost got in front of that.
Yep, just down in front.
Yeah, he managed to get in quite comfortably, but that was close. That was close. Almost saying. He actually looked like he got in front of Ogden there, but arms just weren't in the right spot.
Yeah, Ogden having prime position there.
So I'm not sure if that was time cap called there.
Will be in a moment. It'll definitely come during this point.
Yeah, so whatever happens here, if East Adelaide Force score, God's 15. If Southside Riptide score, we'll be going to Universe. Had Galaxy and Universe in one game. So it happens when it's close. It's as close as it can be. Time cap is called now.
Time cap!
This goes up. Time cap officially called. Get a horizontal stack once again. We go back to match defense.
Nick, left hand, Nick, volley, not the line, that's yours, Bo. Right on, Wes. Get in there, Wes. Go, Lucky. Not coming.
Sanderson getting the on the side. Very awkward throw as I feel the wind just slightly picking up here, so no more funky throws I'd imagine.
Ever so slightly picking up.
Especially in this late game situation where it's super tight, you don't want to be making mistakes. It's a big round throw. It's just too fast. Not many players that Lace actually has a height advantage over, but Foster's definitely one of them. Just face marking him. Great flow here by Southside Riptide.
Warren White looking to make something.
Fakes that completely. Make another breakthrough here. On the line. Can he put it in?
I see Warren White drifting out to one
Almost
side.
throws it away there. Sanderson just getting in there. Desperation. Keeping
There's
cool.
a throw. It's a bit of height on that.
Oh,
There's
and
a turn
Roberts.
unexpectedly. I thought that was a goal for sure.
Yeah, and he had a grab just like this early in the game, so I thought he had I trust Daniel Roberts in the air any day, but probably just influenced his hand wrong.
Yeah, he definitely felt the pressure from Everonadis on his back, so had to really attack that disc.
Yeah, it's been a great matchup, this Roberts and Everonadis matchup. Very exciting. As we want to see East Adelaide Force go back and try to put this one back in.
Mining Borg with that's a lovely throw by Fowler, but Mining Borg slows down in the end, trying to body. Here we see the slow down, trying to body Warren White out of it, but it really needed to attack the disc more.
Yeah, I think he thought it was going to be a lot lower than what it was, and just started slowing down, trying to get good body position on Warren White, but and the disc just flies over his head.
And then backfiring on him.
So Southside Riptide trying to get it back to Universe. Just has to put this one in. They played good offense all the way up to now.
Everonadis will get this one.
Just recovered quicker than Warren White on that one. Really poor throw by Eichner. No, his ankles just get broken by Foley's.
Confusion by the Riptide defense.
Roberts gets that one.
You can see here, I really don't think that throw was on.
Yeah, it was tough, but Roberts does a good job peeling off from the middle of the field to get that one.
Good vision.
Yeah, it's a bit of a veteran move. Got the athleticism to recover though, just in case I went wrong.
Stay on him, Nick. Stay on him, Nick. Nick, it's you, baby. That's all right. We keep going.
They just see if they can do some clean offense here. They were playing well before that Eichner.
Eichner up the line to Lace. Lace will put it. No, he won't.
Yeah.
Apologies to the viewers. I got excited there as I saw Sanderson going deep and
I
Lace in the power position.
Warren White. He goes under. Sanderson has Roberts free, but decides against it. Not trusting himself to throw over Foley.
They're going to, Riptide are now going to walk this in. Are we going to see another throw to the opposite side? Eichner coming in by himself.
This disc could go anywhere.
That's what I would have liked to seen, but Schrader saw that as well.
Yeah, and that's just Schrader.
He's got a few going deep. Let's see if he puts a better disc up this time. It's a bit more of a floater.
And Lace does a good job to shut Foster down. Gain to 15. So, on that defensive possession, as we were talking about before, those across the field throws, Schrader just had that awareness. He made the adjustment to stand on the other side, and he read it beautifully to get that tee.
Yeah, Schrader are definitely aware of that up the other end to get the D.
Yep, timeout called. So we'll just take a quick ad break.
Right now, he's going to have to bid. Just a football.
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Steer.
And we're back to see if East Adelaide Force can put this game away. They have to score one more point up against Southside Riptide 3. So we're playing to 15 right now. Would you like to know a fun fact on what happens if the East Adelaide Force win this game?
Let me know.
All teams are tied at 3-3. We have complete parity.
Well, that is a good thing because it means that the draft format is working.
Yeah, it's working beautifully.
That's what we want. Tight games, close games. So at the moment, the game is for the Forces to lose.
Yep, up by 2. They're starting on defense at this point, but they'll have 2 more points if they lose this one to put it in. So they've got the upper hand here. 3 opportunities. Southside Riptide have the backs up against the wall now. Not much to lose for them, so they'll just want to at least try to take it to Universe.
Yeah. As I was saying, like, this game is for the Forces to lose if they want to. Riptide will obviously have a bit of a say in that.
Yeah, but this is where the experience might come in. The pressure might get to the younger players, but East Adelaide Force have so much experience. They would have played in this situation so many times.
One thing you can be sure of, though, is that both teams will be fighting as hard as they can for this point.
Yeah, let's see the Southside Riptide bring out a good offensive point here. Played really well last point, other than some silly mistakes. But we see Horn White and Lace starting back. Ong Ding Sing fakes everybody out. I thought it was going to Edgeworth, but
so Force at the moment is trying their best to stop the deep throw. Yeah. We've got Seng streaking free. Now he's going around all the way around the other side.
Yeah, he's rewarded for it with disc.
Black is really defending that deep space at the moment.
At the same time, Southside Riptide have a really deep stack, so there's not much space to move downfield any further into the end zone. There's really no doubt in that point. They look really clean.
Yeah, so this is the point which I was referring to for the Force to lose. That one slightly, but this next one more so. Because we have Riptide pulling to Force, and Force will start on offense. They have to have a clean offense in order to win this point, to win the match.
Yep. Just needs to get one offensive point in. But if they lose this one, it goes to Universe, and then who knows what happens.
That's exactly right, yes.
The pressure might get to people.
You loved it. No, that was a lob. It was a lob. No, it wasn't. It was. It was here. I thought read him. I looked gang up on him. Yeah, that was it.
Now, so we see Evernatus coming for this offensive point for East Adelaide Force. You want that versatility there.
So this would be a Universe lineup for both teams, I suspect. We see Sanderson and Smith off for Riptide. And we see Strawn, and I would have kept Foster on. Maybe he's feeling a bit tired at the moment.
Yeah, they've just switched him out for Evernatus, which I also like. He's got that height.
Definitely not a bad switch.
Yeah. But the others are just veterans that you probably want to keep in. Not much space for Foster on the roster.
Lace trying to use his body defensively to get that disc. Ogden saying, no way, not today, mate.
Yeah, that's a risky throw for this situation, but Ogden just managed to get over. Ogden just getting the better of Lace currently at this point.
Okay, Foley, what will he do with it? Schrader doing some orders.
And they win it.
And rather a casual end in the end.
Yeah, Schrader with all sorts of head movements pointing people everywhere, but...
Here we see it again. Schrader
got one last look at the winning
comes
point.
in, wants Foley to come back for the dump for a bit of a give-go.
Head was flying everywhere. But takes everyone out.
And what that essentially did is it confused the Riptide defence because they saw that Schrader wasn't looking upfield. So that I think what happened to the defence then is that they all go, okay, he wants a dump. Let's see what happens after the dump happens. But as he turned, we got that cut from Miningborg. I think it was a Miningborg, was it?
Yeah.
And that's when the defence realised, no, I should have been switched on, giving Force that win. So that was a good win by Force in the end. Now, you're saying just quickly, does that mean everyone's on 3 wins?
Everyone is on 3 wins.
Wow.
So we go into the final round robin, the last 3 games with all teams even. So it's essentially just another best of 3, I guess.
So 3 more weeks, ladies and gentlemen. If you're at home, coverage brought to you by ULTI.TV. Put it in your diary for the next 3 weeks. We've got the last round of this series, Adelaide Super League 15. What a way to start your work week. What a way indeed. Thank you to ULTI.TV. Thanks, George, for joining us. My name's Phil Shields, and we will be back next week with more coverage for you.